Now it's time for the Robb Johnson Sports Show, presented by the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Robb Johnson Sports Show, again featuring the great Larry Patterson, Game Time Sports Network. Larry, how you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. We just got done with draft. My Knicks get another win. My Yankees get another win. I'm good, man. I'm just ready to see what the week ahead is about.
Just bringing everybody in. So let's start talking NBA. Right now, Milwaukee is losing to Indiana. Score is 124, 107, 130 to go. Looks like that's going to go to a game 5 with Indiana leading 3-1. No Giannis, no Dame. Chris Middleton was hurt. Do you think if they get Giannis back, they can get back into this series?
They got a chance. Now, can he hold up? Can his injury hold up? That'll be the big question right there. But I think the smart thing for them to do, though, if he's not even close to playing strength, hey man, just get let the season play out and come back next season. You got a whole off season to get stronger, get your injury healed up. Him and Dame, because him and Dame is going through some injuries right now. But yeah, they got a chance though. But a very slim chance.
Yeah, I think they have a chance as well if Giannis can come back. But right now, Miles Turner playing a good brand of basketball. I like what Indiana's doing. They caught Milwaukee at a bad time. Now, next series, if they win this, they probably have to play the New York Knicks. We'll get into the Knicks in a second. But going back to yesterday, let's talk first about Cavaliers and Magic. As me and you were talking back and forth, I told you that this series, that's how you're supposed to say it, series would not start until Orlando got back home. And 2 wins in a row, they pretty much blown out the Orlando Magic. The guy that everybody, well, especially a guy like Stephen A. Smith, that's clamored for, and Donovan Mitchell had 18 in the first half, only had 18 total. So just talk about Orlando. Can Orlando pull this off?
This is a series where, I give you your flowers on that. Told you yesterday, even before this series started, you said that this series wouldn't start until it got to Orlando. Lo and behold, Orlando blew both of those games. They didn't really get started to the second half yesterday. But you did say that this series wouldn't start until it got to Orlando. This is a series where I feel like all home teams win. And then when it gets to game 7, may the best team win. But
when you look at Donovan Mitchell, is this a defining series for him? Because he had issues in Utah. When they were in Utah, they had a good series here, a good series there, and the next thing you know, you come into this series and this Eastern Conference series, game 1, game 2, you win, and then you go to Orlando, you get beat down. Is this defining for him?
Damn right it is. And, you got 2 big men there helping you out in Evan Mobley and what's the other guy? Jared Allen.
Yes.
Yeah. When Stephen A. makes his takes about, they should have got Donovan Mitchell and Donovan. Can we say Donovan Mitchell is playing better than Jalen than Jalen Brunson right now?
No, not at all.
No, we can't.
Not at all.
Um, so when he makes those kind of statements, it's like, bro, if Donovan Mitchell was on the Knicks right now, he would basically be doing the same thing. Like
Yeah.
he'll have those hot nights, but then he'll also have those nights that he's very cold.
Well, he's a name, and here's the thing: we're looking at what Rudy Gobert is doing and healthy, and he's actually beating a really good Suns team. They're up 3-0. We'll get to them in a second, but Mitchell just has to come up more clutch, and that's just the bottom line. Let's go to another team, the bipolar team of, and I'm not even trying to be funny when I say this. I'm being very serious. It's not a joke when I say that. It's a very serious thing when I'm saying. The bipolar Boston Celtics. They somehow let the Heat win Game 2. The Celtics have a horrendous record at home right now, but they go to Miami and they win 104-84 behind 42 points in the second quarter. Mind you, they led 21-12 after the first quarter. They put up 63 points in the first half. Miami only had 41.
Mm-hmm.
They only had 17 points in the fourth quarter to Miami's 23, which kind of it bothers me in a sense because I feel like Boston gets too comfortable. Larry, does Boston need to hurry up and just get this series over? I feel they do.
They absolutely do. And I think that's their Achilles heel throughout the whole season. It's like they start fast, but then when it gets down to like that last stretch of the game, they kind of like it's like they're relaxed. Um, so when did they play tomorrow, right?
I believe so. Yes, yes. But can
To,
can
to
can can, can I give you a stat real quick? And this is just sickening. Points off turnovers. Miami had 4. You know how many Boston had? 24.
Wow.
Biggest lead of the game. Miami's biggest lead was 0. Celtics' biggest lead was 29.
Mm.
Free throws. Boston took 21. Miami took 14. 3-pointers. Miami was 9-28. Boston was 11-37. Rebounds. 43-36. Boston. Assists 22-21. Steals 42. Blocks 6-2. Turnovers 5-12. Points in the paint 42-34 in favor of Boston. So really, statistically, it wasn't a game where Boston dominated, but on the scoreboard, on the floor, they completely took Miami out.
Whenever they play tomorrow, they need to continue to keep their foot on the gas because Miami as
Yes,
well.
they do. They do play tomorrow night at 7:30 on TNT, I believe. On
And you know for your
TNT.
you know for yourself, this Miami team is not to be played with. That championship quality team. They got the experience. I mean, Boston got the experience too, but they're just not a team to be playing around with. And we saw that in Game 2. So Boston needs to go in and keep that foot on the pedal and just deliver a win tomorrow. Go up 3-1. Just deliver a win tomorrow, man.
Yeah. Moving to our next game that happened on Saturday. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but I think that the disrespect of the Oklahoma City Thunder is starting to weigh off a little bit, and the stock of Zion Williamson is going up because we're seeing that without Zion, this Pelicans team is complete and utter trash. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to a guy like Brandon Ingram. I've seen people on Facebook, I've seen people online compare him to Kevin Durant. The only thing that you can compare him to Kevin Durant with is that they both have a smaller frame. Kevin Durant is a champion. Kevin Durant's an MVP. Ingram doesn't even have the killer instinct, half of the killer instinct that Kevin Durant has. And Kevin Durant doesn't have that big of a killer instinct. But you can see PG come out of PG County, Prince George County, for those who don't know Maryland, come out of Kevin Durant. When it comes to Brandon Ingram, he plays soft like an old school Duke player. I hate to say that, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it is what it is.
Do you have access to his whole game log on what he did
From
during the
from
series
yesterday, give
for
me
the
one
whole
second.
series?
From I'm just gonna go to yesterday. 36 minutes, 19 points, 4 rebounds. That's unacceptable. I'll go. Go ahead, but go ahead. All right. So let me go to his game log. 19, 18, 12. So that means that in this series he scored 49 points. Let me go to my quick calculator here. So in 3 games, this man who has all this talent in his middle 20s has scored 49 points. He's out. Do you know what the average is? 16.3 points per game. Unacceptable. LeBron's averaging 30, and he's 40, damn near 40.
I know
Come
we
on
don't
now.
really. I know we don't like to talk about players. I'm all for players getting their money, but Brandon Ingram is up for a max contract this year, this
He'll still get
offseason.
it. He'll still get it, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because he's 6'8", 190. He's 26 years old. And here's the thing about it, right? I do not like the Pelicans organization. I never have. I've never liked the Pelicans organization. Even when he started out with the Lakers, like he struggled. You know, I think Brandon Ingram needs another destination. I think that he needs to go home, meaning he needs to go home to Charlotte. He needs to go home to North Carolina. He needs to play with the Hornets, play with LaMelo Ball. They got the young guy out of Alabama. You know, he needs to go home because I don't like because it just feels like every year with the New Orleans Pelicans, it's something. It's the reason why they can't get there. Even when they had Anthony Davis there with Rajon Rondo, which was their prime time. I think he got to the second round of playoffs. They never can
Yes.
make a run. And they've got way too much talent. I mean, C.J. McCollum's there. He came back from the situation he had.
Hmm.
You got Alvarado. I mean, you got a bunch of players who can play. But again, Zion not being there hurts them,
That's
and
the biggest piece to
it
the
helps his
puzzle.
value.
That's the biggest piece of the puzzle right there. And he's showing why he's so valuable.
Well, let's get this comment from Timothy Tyrell here. He's talking about Boston likes to play with their food. Yeah, they do. They
Yeah.
do. And and the thing is, when you look at this game, Boston kind of gives me that Pelicans feel because sometimes I feel like they just play around with the competition. But unlike Boston, New Orleans can't play around. 106 to 85. 106 to 85. Can I say something real quick? I don't want to hear no more about Kyrie Irving's off the court antics. If y'all are not going to criticize Josh Giddey, I'm gonna get that out the way right. I'm gonna get that out the way right now. I don't want to hear nothing else about no damn Kyrie Irving if I'm not going to talk about Josh Giddey. But anyway, go ahead, man. I just had to get that. I just had to get that out there because I saw his face on TV last night. They don't never say nothing about guys like that. But go ahead.
Yeah, his situation still didn't get addressed like it should have. But
I know that pissed you off too,
yeah.
big
But
time.
yeah,
But we won't go there tonight.
yeah, but I'm gonna piggyback off what Charles Barkley said, and
About Galveston.
yeah, they deserve that, man. They're not even trying at this point. So I just can't wait
You
till
know what?
Oklahoma City go ahead and just finish the
I can't
series
agree
off.
with that. I can't agree with that. I'm not going to say they weren't trying. I just think that Oklahoma City's so good, and that guy Chet Holmgren, man. Whenever you have what? How many blocks did Chet Holmgren? He had what? He only had what? 6 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. He had 4 blocks. I mean, he's not doing that much because he doesn't have to.
Yeah,
Shea Gillis Alexander's out here scoring 24 points. Josh Giddey, even though I'm not a fan of his, he scored 21 points. Um, this
Jalen.
is, and here's the thing: a guy like Cason Wallace hasn't even got going yet in this series, really. So you got a lot of guys, man, who can really play. Oh, and by the way, you still got Gordon Hayward on your bench.
Yeah.
So this Oklahoma City team is legit, man. They're legit. So just saying. Now let's go to the last game of last night, being the Lakers against the Nuggets. The Lakers finally beat the Nuggets, and Jamal Murray is questionable for tomorrow night.
That
So
hurts.
I mean, hey, the Lakers have had a lead in every single game, and people can say what they want to about LeBron, man, but he closed that game last night. And I think it bothers me because everybody talks about, well, LeBron, he's whining and crying. Well, if he didn't show emotion, then people would say he didn't care. I mean, the dude is a billionaire. He's out there damn near 40 years old caring. At least he cares more than the Pelicans do. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. I mean, it's, and then Anthony Davis had one hell of a game. He frustrated. For the first time, I think ever, he really was frustrating the Denver Nuggets big man, Jokic. And if Anthony Davis can do that, who knows? If you can steal one tomorrow night and then come back home and get another one, you could have a 7-game series here. I mean, it's looking like a 7-game almost. If they can get tomorrow night, it looks like they can get to a game 7.
Hopefully Jamal Murray isn't out for the whole
Hopefully not. True.
series. But if he is, lo and behold, the Lakers are winning this series.
And you know what the whole key with the Lakers, the whole key to them is D'Angelo Russell. If he plays well,
he had 21 last night, right? Him and Austin Reeves had 21. Braun and AD had some monster games. So
Anthony Davis 25 and 23.
20, yeah. So consistency is a big thing with those guys, man. And they can pull. All you need is one win. That's all you need. So,
yeah.
I think they like you said earlier, they frustrated him, and hopefully it can continue. We can get a good series out of this because I thought they were on the verge of getting swept.
Doesn't it feel like Spencer Dinwiddie is due for a game? Doesn't it feel like Spencer Dinwiddie is due to have one of those games? I mean, for him to have what, 1 point? Gabe Vincent only had 3, and we know what Gabe Vincent can do. Gabe Vincent shot what? He shot one of. Let me make sure. He shot 1 of 2. Gabe Vincent only shooting 2 3-pointers the entire game.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying. It feels like the Nuggets players have gone off this series just to beat the Lakers. It feels like a lot of Lakers haven't even gone off yet to beat the Nuggets.
Yeah, and then you need games like from those guys too, because you remember Gabe Vincent when he's in those Miami days. Now he didn't score like that consistently, but he had one of those games where he can go off for like 19. He was good from 3. Same thing from Spencer Dinwiddie. Every now and again, he will come with a nice point game. I mean, they're capable of going for high 20s, capable of going in the 30s. They've done this before. The thing is, they don't do it that often. So if you can get at least a game or 2 out of that, you cooking with grease.
Exactly. And you look at the West right now, injuries. I mean, this entire playoffs has been marred by injuries. But, if you look at the Lakers and you look at the Nuggets, you can make an argument. Whoever comes out this series has a good chance of getting to the finals. I mean,
absolutely.
That's just how I look at it. And then, again, people can talk about LeBron all they want to, man. But 38 minutes, 30 points. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He had that beautiful steal on Jokic last night. Went in for the dunk. Yeah, went in for the dunk. He had that great. Yeah, he had that alley-oop where his head, damn near hit the rim. He's doing stuff he was doing 10, 15 years ago It's just amazing, man. It's just amazing. Now going to today.
You gotta enjoy him while he's here.
Exactly. That's what I keep trying to tell these people. But hey, we live in this day and age of the internet and gambling where people just act like complete a-holes at time. But right now, in progress, Minnesota leads the Suns 11-9. If they don't close out tonight, they'll close it out game 5 for sure. Clippers and Mavericks. Clippers had, a 30-point lead, and they gave it up, but they still win the game. How huge was that for the Clippers? They didn't even have Kawhi Leonard.
Yo, don't it seem like when a team has a 30-point lead, like that doesn't mean nothing these days?
No, it doesn't.
A 30, 40-point lead.
Exactly.
You thinking like back then, you thinking like, man, this game is over with. But
exactly.
Now, I never thought that game was over with. I knew they were coming back somehow, some way. But that was a hell of a game today.
Yeah. Well, Luka had a 29, 10, and 10 game, and you would look at that stat line and say, oh, man, he had a great game. But he had kind of an average game in the first half. He wasn't playing that well. Now, Kyrie Irving had 40.7 rebounds, 5 assists. But again, you need the other guys like P.J. Washington. B.J. Washington only having 10 points. You have Derek Jones, who had 14, which is pretty decent. Gafford had 5. Derek Lively, he played how many minutes? 17. He had 8 points. But the thing is that no matter how many points those 2 guys, Kyrie and Luka, score, the other guys have got to do their job as well. They've got to do their job because the Clippers are so daggone deep, man, that it's hard to contain them. But I will say this, and anybody that knows me know I'm not the biggest James Harden fan, but how satisfying is it that after last year he basically won 2 games for the Clippers. I mean, for the Sixers. They blamed him because of all this stuff in Game 6, Game 7. Oh, it's James Harden's fault. You know how Joel Embiid does every year. Sooner or later, it's going to be Tyrese Maxey's fault. He's going to want him out of Philly because, hey, it's his fault. Yada, yada, yada. So, just real quick, your last summary on that game between the Clippers and the Mavericks.
Paul George had a hell of a game. And
33 points.
Remember when we were talking about those role players in the last game that we talked about? Mm-hmm. Tim Hardaway Jr. What's going on with that? He's about due for one of those games where he can pop off.
He didn't play the sprained ankle, so he didn't play. So that was huge. Powell didn't play because of Dwight Powell didn't play because of a coach's decision, which is weird because he's a decent player. Markieff Morris, I believe that was a coach's decision as well. But you need a guy.
Markieff Morris, a coach's decision. These are games that you need them in.
Yeah, I mean, look at Dante Exum. Didn't play. He had 2 minutes, scored 0 points. You can tell me Dante Exum can get more than 2 minutes, man. I know he's had his injury history and all that stuff, but give that guy some more time, man. Gosh, What's his name? Maxi Kleber. He played 21 minutes. He only had 2 points. You gotta get better production than that. Speaking of production, let's go to Philadelphia. Jalen Brunson, the guy who basically everybody questioned. I didn't. A lot of people questioned, why are they putting so many resources into Jalen Brunson? Why is Jalen Brunson this? Why is Jalen Brunson that? Well, just like Ric Flair back in the early 90s when he was the quote-unquote real world's champion, Jalen Brunson, to me, is the real world's MVP. I don't give a damn who they call the MVP. They can call it Jokic. They can call him Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They can say Doncic. No. I do not see Julius Randle. I see a team that is led by Jalen Brunson. 47 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists. You know how many points Joel Embiid had? He had 27. He outdueled Joel Embiid today by 20. Talk about the Knicks and Jalen Brunson.
You want to talk about a physical game? This has been a physical series, bro.
And here's the thing. Philly, even though Joel has had his issues, they're healthy. There are no excuses. But they're going to make them. Philadelphia 76ers and their fans are going to make them. As I said before, Joel Embiid, he's gonna blame Maxey sooner or later. Maxey played 43 minutes, had 23 points, and he was 6 of 6, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Now, Joel Embiid and Maxey, let's go to their numbers. Maxey was 8 of 21. Embiid was 7 of 19. 3-pointers. Let's go to 3-pointers. Oh, here's a kicker. You're gonna like this one. Maxey was 3 of 9. Not horrible, but it's not great, right? Guess what Embiid's numbers was from 3-point line? 1 for 6. You make 4 of those, you got 12 points. You make 3. You make 4, you got 12 points. So basically, he had 3, and then he makes what, like a couple more? And let's go to free throws. Yeah, let's go to free throws. Joel Embiid shot 12 of 14 from the free throw line. That means that out of his 27, 12 came from the free throw line. Let's go to Jalen Brunson from today. Let's go to his free throw numbers. Jalen Brunson was 9 of 11. 47 points. So that means 38 of them came from field goals, etc. Jalen Brunson, was he from 3-point land? 2 of 8. So you mean to tell me Jalen Brunson only made 2 3-pointers but still managed to score 47 points? That tells you something.
Man, he was electric today. Also, shout out to but before I go to my shout out, when I was talking about Stephen A earlier, I guarantee you, Donovan Mitchell ain't having no performance like this.
They're losing that game if Donovan Mitchell is in New York.
He's not. It's just Jalen Brunson. It's just something different, bro. And
Jalen Brunson went to Villanova.
He did. Imagine if you had Julius Randle in this series. Now Julius Randle has been prone to be kind of missing during the playoffs. I think this team plays a little better than
Yeah.
without Julius Randle.
Well, see. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Again, Jalen Brunson played in that arena where they were winning games, big time games, right? The Knicks were the only team really going hard after Jalen Brunson. Imagine Jalen Brunson with the Sixers. Well, I'm sorry, Joel Embiid would probably blame him for them not winning, so never mind. Luckily, he went to New York.
Yo, Villanova playing the Wells Fargo
Yeah,
Center?
yep. Villanova.
Huh.
That's that. He listen. Before the series, they talked about how him and Devinchenko, Dante Devinchenko, they played in Nova, and they talk about how they talk about how, man, they owned that place. They owned that place for a while. So yeah, so pretty much them playing at Philly is like almost at home.
I knew they did, but like, do they still play there now? Or they?
I believe so. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, shout out to OG Anunoby, man, coming up with the big plays that he's been coming up with.
Defense.
Showing up on the defense, showing up offensively and defensively. Most important, defensively, the way he defended against Joel Embiid today, with Isaiah Hartenstein fouling out in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, I believe. And then with Mitchell Robinson not even playing, the Mitchell Robinson injury, with his status before the game, they said he had a chance to play. He was warming up and then he couldn't go. I thought that was going to hurt right there. And then Hartenstein didn't even catch all his fouls into the third quarter, which was crazy. I'm sitting there watching the game. Like, why? Like, Joel Embiid is great at baiting them, at baiting defenders and defiling. So he's very good at getting to the free throw line.
Well, here's the funnier thing about today's game, right? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Hartenstein, yes, is 7 feet. So, and he's only 25 years old. He's been in the league now almost 7, 8 years. Mitchell Robinson didn't even play today. So, I mean, if you're the Sixers, what are you thinking right now? I mean, you got to know that this is going to be it for you. When he goes to New York, this is over. This series is over. Because this was your chance to get back into it. And you're going to lose this game with no Mitchell Robinson? Are you kidding me? No Mitchell Robinson, no Julius Randle. Burks is out. I mean, coach's decision. And here's the thing. Go ahead.
Boggy had got hurt in like the first or second quarter when Nick Batum he was diving for the ball and he rolled up on his ankle, which it was unintentional. He didn't mean to. He was just going after the ball. But I'm thinking, like, damn, that's another shooter that can possibly make some plays, and then he's out for the rest of the game. But go ahead.
I mean, if I'm looking at this correctly, if the Knicks can win this series, then you're looking at possibly Indiana, and that's a rivalry renewed, and I think that would be one hell of a series. But I really just think that the Knicks are better than Indiana right now. I think they're better than Indiana. I think they're better than Milwaukee. 2 months ago, people would say that's crazy, but I think that if you're in the Knicks, you want Indiana because the Bucks could get healthy at any time, and then it could mean trouble. You want Indiana, get through that hurdle, and then who knows? If I'm the Knicks, honestly, I want Indiana, and then I want Boston. I want Boston because I want to finally just put the big middle finger up to the world and say, look, we are this good. And here's the funny part. I had the Knicks against the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You did.
So,
and then you had the Knicks beating them.
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing. You see how the way Boston's playing now, and my man that commented on his they said that Boston likes playing with their food.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you really want the Knicks? Do you really want to be playing with the Knicks? As physical as they are, do you really want to? No. Shout out to Josh Hart too with the 17 rebounds.
Exactly.
He wasn't effective offensively, but the dirty work though.
Exactly. And me being a Bulls fan and seeing how they treated Tom Thibodeau towards the end, they deserve everything they get because people can talk about Tom Thibodeau all you want to. Now, when he went to Minnesota, they didn't start winning right away, but you can tell he made them tougher. That Minnesota team was not tough. Tom Thibodeau leaves the organization, they become a tougher organization.
Thanks.
The Bulls have just become a shell and a joke, but you can tell the Knicks have become a tougher basketball team. So let's get a quick update on tonight's game between Minnesota and Phoenix. Right now, we are tied at 18. Jaden McDaniels leads the team with 8 points. Devin Booker has 7. All right, you go ahead first, Larry. Give everybody your top 5 MLB teams as of today.
For my top 5 MLB teams, I'm gonna be real quick with it. I'm gonna go with the Guardians.
I was listening to the game today. Guardians are really good, man. The Guardians are really good. They're gonna definitely make some noise. I like them.
Absolutely, and Stephen Kwan is hitting 345. Tanner Beebe is pitching well. They're tied for 6th in the league in runs, tied for 5th in stolen bases, tied for 2nd in runs allowed, and tied for 6th in hits allowed. So that's a good team on the rise there. The only thing is, like, you can't take them serious because it's like once they get to the bigger competition, it's like they always fold. But
I'll say this: the AL Central between the Guardians, Royals, and the Tigers, it's going to be a great battle all year. I love the way that division is playing itself out right now.
My next team, I'm going to go with the Yankees. I'm gonna go with
4?
the Yankees.
Why 4?
I'm gonna go with the Yankees at 4.
Why 4? I mean, they just blew out the Brewers 2 straight days.
Yeah, but I mean, look what they did before. 2-2 against Oakland. I mean,
and listen, man, Oakland's scrappy this year. I know Oakland's 12-17, but they're one of the most competitive 12-17 teams I've ever seen. I mean, seriously. I mean, they're scrappy, man.
And I don't even think I had this in order. Like I wasn't trying to put this in order. I was just like my top 5 teams.
I got you.
So you're looking at the Yankees, 36 runs in the last 3 games against Milwaukee. That was a tough game on Friday night, but then Saturday, Sunday, it was like they woke up.
I don't take Milwaukee seriously ever because it feels like every single year they do the same thing to us. They start winning some games and then they just look like complete,
And then you look at the Yankees' next 4 series. They have Baltimore, Baltimore, Detroit, Houston, which that's tough, even though they're struggling, but I think they're starting to pick up, and then Tampa Bay at Tampa. So they always struggle against Tampa Bay. So
Tampa loves playing them for some reason.
Exactly. Next team, I'm gonna go with the Dodgers.
Okay.
They're top 10 basically in every statistical stat offensively.
Yeah.
And Mookie Betts hitting 391. Shohei, he hitting 347. The next series they have at Arizona, Atlanta is going to be the series to watch, and I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it's going to be,
wait.
And I believe that is going to start because let's see it here. The Braves beat the Guardians in their series 2-1. They got to go to Seattle up until May the 1st, which is going to be tough. And then on next Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, they go to Los Angeles. The Friday night game is going to be on MLB Network, which is going to start at 10 o'clock. It's going to start 10 p.m. here on the East, which is wild. Sportsnet on Saturday, which I don't know why it's not on Fox, which is strange to me. And then
Crazy.
It's not. And then on Sunday, it's the game starts at 4:10 p.m. Like,
so it's not a Sunday night baseball game.
Like, what the hell is baseball doing, man? Come on now, like that.
No wonder they be having so many complaints about baseball here. How do you not have that on Fox or Sunday Night Baseball? That's crazy. I'd like to see who they have in replace of that. Probably the Giants and the Mets or some shit.
Let me look, man, because that just pisses me. Oh, the Phillies and the Giants. Come on,
the Giants. Come on,
man. I mean, and I have nothing against the Phillies. I like the Phillies. I think the Phillies play a good brand of baseball. But you're not going to have the Braves against the Dodgers as your feature game? What the fuck is baseball doing? Come on, man. This is stupid. You got your two marquee teams you're going to have on MLB Network. By the way, let's talk about the MLB Network. A lot of times when you have those apps and things, baseball, you can't watch it outside the house. You can watch the NFL Network, but you can't watch the NBA. You can't watch MLB. You can't watch hockey. I mean, come on. Why do you think these sports, hockey and baseball, aren't growing the way they should? Come on, man. You gotta have Braves, You gotta have Braves, Dodgers on Sunday Night Baseball. You're gonna have the game at 4:10 p.m. on a Sunday, 1 o'clock on the West. Come on, man.
That's
horrible. That's horrible.
I got a streaming service that I'll connect you with that you can watch baseball games with, and we'll talk about that after the show. But
I think I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, how do you have that game? Evidently, ESPN don't care about their baseball product.
Oh, if this was the '90s, it wouldn't be like that. I mean, because apparently, no offense to the Yankees, I like the Yankees like everybody else, but apparently they only talk about the Yankees on ESPN during First Take. That's it. They don't talk about any other team.
That's crazy. My next team, I'm gonna go to Orioles. I think they lost today to Oakland. So Oakland, one of those Nats.
7-6, yeah, scrappy.
Yeah, one of those teams,
Oakland's gonna be one of those teams you don't want to see at the end of the season when you need to make a playoff push.
Exactly. And then Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, they playing lights out. Corbin Burns, Grayson Rodriguez, they pitching very well. 12-6 in their last 18 games. They rank second in runs, tied for fourth in hits, fifth in batting average. So this team is hitting, man. Second in slugging. So first in home runs. So this team is hitting. They got the Yankees next, which is very tough, and I'm nervous about that. Then you got at Cincinnati, at Washington. We know how you feel about Washington. So so the Orioles and then the Braves. Their last 4 series were against at Houston when they swept them versus Texas 2-1. They swept the Marlins 3-0 and then Cleveland 2-1. So first in runs.
And Ozzy Albies is on a 11-game hit streak right now, so that's something to watch. Definitely something to watch. And that's the thing. Acuna's not even playing well right now. So once he picks things up,
And that's the beauty of it. You got the whole season to go. So he can come alive at any time. They first in runs, first in hits, first in batting average. The next series they have at Seattle and at the Dodgers, as I told you about before. Then they have Boston, the Mets, the Cubs. Some very tough series coming up.
I'm gonna be 100% transparent. I am looking forward to that Cubs series because I believe that the Cubs in the future are gonna be challenging the Braves for the NL pennant for sure. I think those two teams. It's just good seeing those uniforms, the Cubs and Braves. And I don't see the Cubs and the Braves in nationally televised games, which sucks. So anyway, let me
remember those old TBS games.
Oh yeah, WGNN games, stuff like that. It might still come on WGNN. I just don't watch. But yeah, it was nothing like a Saturday afternoon Cubs, Braves, stuff like that. Bulls on WGNN. But my top 5. I'll go number 5. I go with the Phillies, even though they're like a game and a half behind the Braves. They're playing really good baseball right now. Then I'll go to number 4, the Guardians. I like the way they're playing. Number 3, I'll go with the New York Yankees, and then at number 2, I'll go Dodgers, and then Braves number 1 for me because the Braves are playing the best baseball. But again, the Braves bats and their pitching does concern me in some ways, and if they play some close games this season, but when they get to the postseason, that's when they're gonna have to really turn things on because we understand what the Phillies have been all about. Let me give you guys this baseball. I got the graphic. I don't know why I'm showing Michael Penix, but anyway, I forgot to show you all the graphic for baseball. But yeah, I like the way the Braves are playing, and this baseball season has been very exciting so far. So hopefully we can keep that going. Before
ESPN ought to be ashamed of their damn self.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we move on, let me give like a quick update for you guys. The Suns lead the Timberwolves 26-23. And in some NHL news, the Rangers, who lead the Capitals 3-0, are up 3-2. Edmonton plays the Kings later on tonight. Oilers lead that series 2-1. Shout out to Connor McDavid. Avalanche are destroyed the Jets today 5-1. They lead that series 3-1. Vancouver leads the Nashville Predators 3-1 in their series after they won. And my Stars, of course, won last night, beating Vegas, getting back into the series. Now, let's get into some NFL. The NFL draft. Larry, just talk a little bit. Let's see, we've been on since 9:30. We got about 10 minutes left here, about 10 or 20 minutes left here. Talk about the NFL draft, what you like, what you didn't like. Just, let the world know how you feel about the NFL draft.
All right, so going through my notes here, and
So let me ask you this: what was the best pick of the first round? If you had one pick,
the best pick in the first round. I'm not gonna lie.
Give me a one word answer, and give me your worst pick of the first round. So what's your team again?
The Chiefs grabbing who is it? Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy, who ran like almost a 4-1 basically.
Patrick Mahomes is gonna have freaking fun, bro.
It's gonna be
like the rich get richer.
Hey,
the rich get richer.
Hey, you know something? They better not get the Chiefs turf. And you know what's gonna be even crazier? Imagine if they have to move to St. Louis. It would be crazy if they were in that dome. If the Chiefs had to move to St. Louis and they were in that dome, they'd be the second greatest team on turf.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. But who's your worst?
My worst.
I think me and you might have the same person, but I don't know. I don't know how you gonna go with this.
Who's your worst? Give me your worst.
You go at first.
I feel like I understand where the Cowboys going the direction with Tyler Guyton, but I'm like, isn't there something else that you could have done?
No, that was a perfect pick.
That was the perfect pick. Okay,
perfect pick. Everything they did in that. Well, let me reverse that.
No running back.
They'll be fine in that department. Trust me. Now, if they could have got Barton, I would have given them an A. I give them a B- because they did not get Barton. I think Barton at 24 would have been Graham Barton would have been better, but I also like the potential of a player like Tyler Guyton. And I like what he did the rest of the draft. So no, I think if they've gotten Graham Barton, they would have really been in business.
Now, of course, go ahead.
Not the biggest fan of Tyler Guyton, but as you know, as I've told you before, I talk to people. I talk to people of other teams. So I was talking to a guy the other day. He's an Oklahoma fan, and as I told you about Trey Lance a few years ago, talked to a North Dakota State fan. They didn't like his game. They said he wasn't that good. So I trust when I talk to these fans. I talked to an Oklahoma fan. He said he's a dog. He's rarely good on the field. He can run block better than people say he can't. But the Oklahoma students lost a lot of weapons. So he said that basically he's the guy. So I trust when people who follow these teams more closely than I do. But I would like to have had Graham Barton. But I'm just going to go back to what I said before. The Minnesota Vikings moving up one spot for J.J. McCarthy. I don't understand why people think that he's going to come in and dominate. I just don't understand it. And now you're dealing with the Chicago Bears, who have a really good defense that's getting better. You got a Packers defense who's always good. And don't even get me started on the Detroit Lions. Jesus Christ. Man, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Detroit picking up Terry Arnold, that just adds more to a fuel to the fire right there. So
yeah,
that NFC North is going to be a very dangerous division.
Yeah.
I know we criticized. I know we criticized the Falcons pick with Michael Penix, but it's like it's like it was my one of my worst. But it's like you kind of can understand it if you're looking at it long term.
It was an excellent pick. But as me and you discussed, could the Falcons play chess when everybody's playing checkers? Meaning, could they trade this pick? Meaning, could they end up trading Michael Penix for ones? Could they trade Kirk Cousins soon? Who knows? But I think it was a great pick because if you think about it, you know what? In fact, let me go to Atlanta. I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons a little bit because I think a lot of people kind of misconstrued everything with the Atlanta Falcons this past year. Meaning this, right? So the Falcons in their last 5 games were 1-4. You know what the record ended up being? 7-10. This is a 7-10 team who had no business being 7-10. Now, mind you, I'm gonna go through their schedule. They beat the Panthers 24-10. They beat the Packers now. The Packers 25-24. They lose to the Lions 20-6. They go to Jacksonville, get beat 23-7. They beat the Texans. Right? They lose to the Commanders 24-16. They beat the Buccaneers, who won a playoff game 16-13. They lose to the Titans 20-23. They lose to the Vikings 13-1-28. And a lot of times that team was tired because that offense sucked. They go to the Cardinals. They lose 25-23. They beat the Saints. They go to the Jets. They win 13-8. Again, they play Tampa, lose 29-25. They lose to the Panthers 9-7. You beat the Colts 29-10. Remember, there's a Colts team. They get the playoffs. They're going to be a little bit dangerous. You go to the Bears. You lose 37-17. And then the final game, the team doesn't even care anymore. You get blown out by the Saints 48-17. You can name games there. If they just had a quarterback, they win those games. They make the playoffs. They win the division.
Yeah, you're right.
The Buccaneers were 9-8. They could have easily won this division. So it's a smart move because the Falcons have decent defensive players. They have really good offensive weapons. And the thing is that if Kirk Cousins gets hurt again, you need that true backup. Because what happened? What's happened to all these teams in the past now where their starter went down or their really good quarterback went down? They didn't have a backup. Michael Penix is ready to play now. So let's just say Kirk Cousins does go down. Let's say Kirk Cousins plays the first 6 games and balls all like he did before, right? And then Michael Penix comes in and just absolutely kills it. One of those guys will trade bait. So if the Falcons play this the right way, as I said before, you go in to the season, the preseason, and you feature Michael Penix. You throw the playbook at him. You allow him to do everything. Make him look good. Because who knows? Next offseason, you could get a whole lot from Michael Penix, especially if Spencer Rattler doesn't work out in Vegas, because we don't know how good Gardner Minshew is going to be. We all know that Gardner Minshew is that quarterback who comes in and plays well. He comes in and does a job, but he's an elevator for the next quarterback. So who knows? The Raiders just might throw a couple firsts at the Falcons next year. Who knows?
You want to talk about their draft, the rest of their draft after Michael Penix?
You want to talk about you talk about the Falcons? All right, give me 1 second. Let me check. Let me get them real quick. Teams, because I have all the teams right here. Let me go to here. So we got Michael Penix in the first round. They get Ruke Oroho. He's a defensive tackle out of Clemson. He's raw, but he can play. This is the one I like right here. Very underrated pick here. I got this guy in the first round. Well, I didn't have him in my mock draft, but I said that he could be in the first round, but he's gonna be very good. Braylon Trice out of Washington, edge rusher. He popped off my screen every time I watched him play. Brandon Dorless, defensive tackle from Oregon. You got
that's gonna be the one right there.
Yep. J.D. Berthon, linebacker out of Notre Dame. Then you get Chase McClellan, running back from Alabama, really good player. Casey Washington, Illinois wide receiver. And then Zion Logue from Georgia. So for me, when I look at their draft, they did a good job. They did a really good job. They did a lot of good things. So you can never have enough quarterbacks. Even though you paid Kirk Cousins 180 million. If you think about it and you look at the Broncos, Russell Wilson's contract was a lot more. Guarantees, blah, 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 more money. So really with this Kirk Cousins deal, you can get out this thing in a year and a half, 2 years. And it won't hurt you too much because of the cap number. Because remember, it's 180 million, but it's 100 million guaranteed. So and we don't know the details of the contract. It could be certain languages. If you get hurt, if you don't perform, do this, do that. So we don't know what the language is in that draft for that contract. So if you are Kirk Cousins, you got to come out and you got to perform. You got one playoff win. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. Sorry.
Another team that I thought did really well, the Rams.
Oh my God, yes.
That's 2 straight years, Sean McVay. As I told you before, this man is a draft specialist. He's been a specialist at drafting talent, but for what he's done in the past 2 years, I know we haven't seen these guys on the field yet, but you picking up a Jared Verse, and you picking up a Braden Fisk, and then you picking up a Blake Corn to match with my man, the running back that's already there.
Yeah, and I'll be on, and I will be 1,000% transparent right here, right when I say this. When I saw that the Rams picked Blake Corum, my mouth went wide open. I could not. I was in complete and utter shock because that guy on that team is going to be trouble. And you're talking about Kyron Williams, who had a really good season.
Oh my God!
Before he got hurt, he had 228 carries, 1,144 yards, 4 touchdowns before he got hurt. But Blake Corum is just the type of running back that they would have. And honest, and again, to be even more transparent, I'm surprised the 49ers didn't try to get him because he's the type of running back that the 49ers would have. But I like the move there.
Or the Ravens.
Or the Ravens. I totally agree. Now, Joshua Carty, place kicker. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's a kicker, whatever. No, he's a really good kicker. He and the Alabama kicker are really good kickers. And, this is the other one that nobody's really talking about. But, man, this is a huge pickup in the 3rd round. And I think that if he can be in the right system with that team and they can put him in the right positions, he can play linebacker, safety, whatnot. Cam Kitchens out of University of Miami. If it had not been for our golden stupid play calls last year, maybe he could have even gone even higher in this draft. Because the defense was put in some very bad situations last year. So I like Cam Kitchens out of University of Miami. Brennan Jackson, edge rusher out of Washington State. Tyler Davis, defensive tackle, Clemson. Whenever you have somebody come out of Clemson, just know they always have a chance to be good. But I think the other team, Larry, that a lot of people had high expectations for, and they even exceeded their expectations, had to have been the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals had one hell of a draft, and what they did after the draft was even more spectacular. You bring in Xavier Weaver, wide receiver from Colorado. I mean, come on, man. I mean, look at this draft. You look at Marvin Harrison Jr., who's generational. Darius Robinson, edge rusher out of Missouri. Max Melton, cornerback out of Rutgers. Rutgers has really revamped their program. Trey Benson with that speed, once he gets to the second level, he's gone. Isaiah Adams, Tip Raymond, both out of Illinois. One is an offensive tackle, another one is a tight end. Elijah Jones out of Boston College. Boston College always produces really professional guys, and guys who can play. Xavier Thomas, Christian Jones, just a lot of good players. And then you get Tahan Palmer, 6'2", 210 out of University of Alabama, Birmingham. And then you get Jaden Davis, cornerback out of University of Miami. He kind of underachieved at Miami, but I think that he can do some good things in the league. He brings that speed, especially to your special teams. So, yeah, those are teams I'm looking at, man. And what do you think about the Commanders? What do you think about their draft? What do you think? Do you think they did the job during the draft? I think they did.
I think they did a good job. When you look at, they got the quarterback, and then you get Jason Newton, one of my guys that I liked, coming out. So
Mm-hmm.
you get him. You pick up Mike Sanderstall out of Michigan. He's got that experience. The winning experience there. You pick up a Ben Sinnott, tight end from Kansas State.
The one I liked the most was Luke McCaffrey come out of Rice because he was better than a third-round pick.
I was just about to get to him. So I feel like he's going to be a low key dog for real.
I think it's going to be bigger than low key. I think that because he has world class, he has speed like his brother. He has speed like his brother. And as I was talking on the Snowman show yesterday about like Ed McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey, Luke, man, these guys play ball. They know how to play football. They know how to do things on the field. So, overall, I think this draft was one of the better drafts I've ever seen because I didn't see a lot of bad players. Again, the whole JJ McCarthy thing is still baffling because I think he should have been second round. Maybe he goes somewhere. Thanks for reminding me. Without you even saying anything, I'm gonna tell you a team right now, and I'm not comparing it to Washington, but Drake May better be very careful because Joe Milton is not gonna go down quietly. Joe Milton, I'm not saying Joe Milton's better than Drake May. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that Drake May better bring noise. He better be ready to work, which I know he will, and he better be ready to compete because Joe Milton is not going to let him just run over him in practice. And speaking of that, the Patriots, Jalen Polk, wide receiver out of Washington.
Absolutely.
Great pick. Katie Wallace, offensive tackle from Penn State. Landon Robinson, offensive guard from Texas A&M. Joe Milton, as I've said before, you had Jaheim Bell, Florida State tight end, who's a receiver / tight end. But my favorite pick from the Patriots, and I think that this guy is going to have the ability to do some great things. Especially he made the quote saying, "Look, basically I'm about ball." He said he basically, I'm paraphrasing. He said people in wheelchairs are going to stand up to watch me. Javon Baker, wide receiver, UCF. I'm telling you, if they give the young man a chance, he'll be able to do some good things. Go back and look at his tape, folks, if you haven't seen it. I think that the Patriots are not going to be all the way back this year, but give it 2 more years. Continue to build. They still have a really decent defense. Their head coach is a defensive-minded coach. Let them continue to build. The Patriots will be back sooner or later. The Jets are not going to be here forever because they're going to be in Cap Hill very soon. The Dolphins, who knows what their future is going to be because eventually they're going to probably have to trade Tyreek Hill or trade Jalen Waddle because they can't keep all that offense. And the Buffalo Bills, we don't know if Josh Allen's going to be happy in 2 or 3 years. So just keep that in mind. The Patriots, ladies and gentlemen, will be back.
Speaking of, I do agree with you. Speaking of the Buffalo Bills,
they recovered. They recovered.
They recovered with the Keon Coleman pick, but I'm feeling like,
before you go, I feel like they recovered, but you still give up Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs.
That's something Josh Allen could have needed. Yeah. But here's my thing, and I agree with you why you say they recovered because you pick up a Keon Coleman, a big body receiver, which I feel like that's something that Josh Allen needed.
But here's the problem.
He needs that big body.
But here's the problem. You go through their draft. Now, Dwayne Carter, not Lil Wayne, but Dwayne Carter, out of Duke. He's a really good player who went in the third round. I like that pick a whole lot. I think that was a good job by them scouting wise. Here's the problem: you only pick up one receiver. The rest of that was your only receiver was Keon Coleman. So, we will see. We'll see what the Buffalo Bills are going to do here.
One thing I do. Go ahead. My bad. I thought you.
No. I was just going to say I don't think this is a rebuilding year, but because it's still got Knox. So we'll see. We'll see with Buffalo.
I think as far as their run game, they picked up Ray Davis from Kentucky. I like him.
He's a good player.
And then I want to say they picked up Frank Gore Jr. Undrafted.
Yes. But see, here's the thing. I know people say he's a dog out of Southern Miss, and I get that. He ain't his father, man. He's not his father. Frank Gore had, I don't know, 2-3 ACL injuries. That guy was like fourth on the depth chart behind great players. Frank Gore is different, man. And Frank Gore's struggle ain't his son's struggle. And I think that's what we miss sometimes. Like his struggle ain't his father's struggle. Now, let me ask you this.
You're right.
What do you think about the Chargers? They got Joe Alt, which I think was an absolutely great pick. They get Ladd McConkey out of Georgia, another good pick. You get Junior Colson. You get the defensive tackle Justin Agube out of Alabama. Let's see, got some other decent picks. They got Brendan Rice, Cornelius Johnson, wide receiver from Michigan. I think it was an okay draft. I don't think the Chargers are going anywhere this year, but I think it's a good start. But I just don't believe in Justin Herbert. I know, and it's funny to me how I believe in him, but at the same time, he puts up good numbers. But you watch him all the time in the AFC West. He puts up good numbers, but he just doesn't have that. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have that old school John Elway in him. You know what I mean? For a guy who does a lot of commercials, he doesn't put up a lot of wins. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Joe Alt pick.
Yeah. You're good.
You good?
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
I think we off a little bit.
Yeah. Time zones, dog.
But I feel like the Joe Alt pick was a power move, especially what you want to do, up in the trenches, especially up front. John Harbaugh, cements his style from the run game. He wants to run the ball. So, him, I didn't think he was going to go Joe Alt. I thought he was going to go, receiver. But him going Joe Alt was definitely a Harbaugh move. And then you pick up Ladd McConkey, which you can put him out wide, you put him in the slot. Definitely a move right there. I can see right there. And then you pick up Junior Colston, somebody he's familiar with.
A leader.
So, yeah. So I see where he was going. Cam Hart is going to be the pick right here, I feel like. That's going to be the dog right there.
Now, here's the thing. He wants to run the ball more. Will Justin Herbert like that he's running the ball more? Will that cause friction in the building?
I don't know.
It might.
I don't know.
It just might. Might.
Because if you look at it, I know they don't have no big name receivers right now, but like, was it Josh Palmer? Is like your biggest receiver right now.
Yeah.
So you can kind of almost see where they want to go, and you don't always have to have like the biggest name receiver.
Exactly.
But for what they're trying to do, if the run game is going to win you games, it's going to get you to the next level. Hey, if I'm Herbert and I'm still getting paid, shut your mouth, do what you got to do, man.
Hey, man, some people got egos, though, man. Some people don't. Some people got egos.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like the Steelers did a good job, too,
They did. And now, before we get to Pittsburgh, there's one name that I actually love off this board. that I feel like he didn't get enough respect. And that was Jermaine Burton, wide receiver from Alabama. Every time I saw him, he was making plays. And for him to go to Cincinnati, that tells me one or two things. One, the Bengals are really trying to build a wide receiver room, or two, somebody's about to get traded. Somebody's
Yeah,
about to get traded.
yeah. They picked up like 2 wide receivers last year in
Yeah.
the draft. That I think they flashed a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like somebody's on the move, and it
Now,
ain't Trey Hendrickson.
yeah. And now before we get to the Steelers, I want to talk about another team that I think Ab did an absolutely great job. Darius Manasu in the 6th round, Tyrone Tracy, running back out of Purdue, Theo Johnson, tight end out of Penn State, Andy Phillips, cornerback out of Penn State, and my personal favorite guy who should have won the 1st round, Tyler Nubin, safety out of Minnesota, and Malik Neighbors. The Giants did a heck of a job, and they did not reach on J.J. McCarthy, which to many Giants fans thrill. Thank you.
Only one piece of the puzzle that needs to be pieced together. Daniel Jones.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no
definitely.
excuse now.
No, sir. Now let's go to Pittsburgh. Let's talk about what they did. Troy Fonu, which I've already told you, he's a future Hall of Famer in my opinion. Zach Frazier, center out of West Virginia, he's gonna probably start right away. You get a Roman Wilson who did not get many balls in Michigan, but is a decent wide receiver. Peyton Wilson, linebacker out of North Carolina State. Him and Patrick Queen are gonna make people hurt for days. It's gonna be like that show Ballers back in the day where you getting hit by the linebackers and you gotta take shots every day. Man, you gotta go against Patrick Queen. You gotta go against Peyton Wilson. That is just absolutely ridiculous. That's
I,
crazy, man.
I was so hurt when Denver didn't take him. Like I
Of
know
course
there's
they
the
did.
injury concern and the size, but I'm like, man, that's a dog, man.
Oh, most definitely. Sean Payton was worried about his Patrick Mahomes comparisons and stuff. Which I told you it
And
was a
then
true.
Roman
Well, I
Wilson's
told
gonna
you it
be a
was a true
dog.
quote too. I actually heard it out of his mouth today. I was like, really? Like I had heard like 3 audios of people saying that it was real. And then I actually heard out of Sean Payton's mouth, and I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt on that. I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt. But no, you saying Roman Wilson's a good receiver as well? You agree with that?
Yeah, I feel like he's Pittsburgh. They always find those receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Not just pass catchers, but they can do other things too. The blockers. Doing the dirty work, that type of
Yeah,
thing. He coming from a run first system, so Pittsburgh they're gonna want to run the ball there. So yeah, I feel like he's a great fit for what they're doing.
I got an idea for you. If Roman Wilson becomes a really good player in Pittsburgh, you know his celebration can be, right? He can throw the one up every time. And you know what they should do? Play the music. Yo, I just gave y'all at Pittsburgh. I just gave y'all free game. I just gave y'all free advertisement. I just gave
Hey,
y'all man.
shout out to Alta Vista High School. They were kicking Prince Edward's ass this past year, and they played the Roman Reigns music. And I'm up there, I'm filming, and I'm looking around. I did just like this. I threw the one up.
Yo. But now we have to get to, and I'm not going to get really too much into negative about who had the worst draft, but I want to talk about who had the best draft. And I think this is by a mile. We'll talk more about the draft next week, but I think who won the draft, it's very apparent. It's not even close. First pick, number 22, Quinyon Mitchell. Cooper DeJean. You got 2 starting corners in the 1st and 2nd round.
Yeah.
Jackson Hunt out of Houston Christian. Whenever you got somebody coming out of Houston Christian in the 2nd and 3rd round, you know they're good. Will Shipley, who could possibly challenge for the starting role in Philadelphia. He's that good. He won't win it, but he'll challenge. Anais Smith, wide receiver. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., following his father's footsteps.
Amazed he went to the fifth.
Trevor Keegan, 6'7" Johnny Wilson. The Philadelphia Eagles had the best draft, and it ain't even close. It ain't even close. Listen. There is so much pressure on Jalen Hurts right now. I wouldn't. It's so hot and it's so much pressure. I feel like if I touch that pressure, then I would burn my hand off. Jalen Hurts got to produce, man. I mean, Howie Roseman was like, "Hey, buddy, here's your weapons. What are you gonna do about it?" Hey, there's a lot of pressure on Philadelphia right now, man. They gotta deliver.
Howie Roseman is putting together yet another successful draft. And when you're talking about guys who win in the offseason, whether that's free agency, whether that's the draft, that he's a staple of that. He wins every offseason.
32 pass breakups in the last 2 years for Quinyon Mitchell.
Wow.
You get your starting two cornerbacks, and now if those guys come in and they're that good, you can move Slay to the slot. You can make him your nickel corner. Hell, you can move him to safety. Or you can put Darius Slay on one side, put Mitchell on the other side, and put DeJean as safety.
Yeah.
Possibly corner.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man, the Eagles are legit. And there's no reason why they should not be at the top of NFC East. But as we've seen, you don't win games on paper. And the pressure's on Jalen Hurts, buddy.
Yeah, it's
if he doesn't produce, if he doesn't produce, could be something. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're at 10:40 p.m. Eastern, 7:40 on the West Coast. I believe it's 7:40 on the West Coast. Larry, let the world know how you feel, buddy. Last segment of the day.
So for those who don't know, the Broncos are my team. You know, I love these idiots so much. I continue to keep rooting.
Did you say you love these idiots so much?
I love these idiots so much, man. Just
something's wrong with you, man.
All the things that they do, you know, I still stick by their side.
Stick beside them. Stick beside them.
Stick beside them. Just like those Dallas Cowboy fans, you know, not.
I don't know if you want to stick beside them that much. Don't do yourself like that.
But here's the thing. So I was reading an article on the Score, and then do we take these things serious? You know, reading all these articles on how these writers rank teams drafts and all this other. No, we don't take it very seriously. But we do pay attention. We do watch. We do listen. So a nameless writer wrote on the Score app.
Yeah,
they were reviewing the team's draft picks. The guy said that the Broncos were overly desperate to be picking Bo Nix with the 12th pick. Now I get it. The 6th quarterback being picked at 12th. I get it. But you look at this. You look at the possibilities of this. This is why you can't make everybody happy, and somebody's always going to have something to say. If we trade just about all our assets to move up to get Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and possibly Drake May, we're going to have to move draft capital. We're going to have to move a player or something like that.
Exactly.
You're going to say, oh, Denver did way too much just for one player and such and such. You know, they're going to be complaining about this. If we traded up, you know, a spot just to get Michael Penix. Oh, he's not ready. He's gonna have to sit a year. Why would they do all this just for Michael Penix? And same thing for JJ McCarthy. If we don't select a quarterback at all, oh, the Broncos are stupid. They needed a quarterback. They don't select them. They don't select any quarterback. You had Spencer Rattler in such and such round. You know, then if we do pick Spencer Rattler, the Broncos had all these quarterbacks in the first round, and you wait till you get Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler win the fifth round.
Yeah.
It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly, my man.
What,
Exactly.
what do you want teams to do? I mean, if the goal is to get a quarterback, the goal is to get a quarterback. Now I know there's value there, all that type of stuff. But you draft for need, you draft for scheme, and if that quarterback is a need and he's there for this scheme, then hey, you pull the trigger, man. But that's why I don't get. This is my first time really getting really over emotional about what these writers be writing because it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't, man. It's just pisses me off. It pisses me off. And what do you want us to do? If we don't select the quarterback, then what? You laughing now? It's about to get my meter from going up. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and get the floor to you, bro.
No, man, I'm crying. I'm crying because from me to you, they got me emotional, dog. They got me emotional, man. Because anyway, no, just playing with you, dog. But look, I totally understand. I feel you. Like Bo Nix, I think is gonna be decent. You got Troy Franklin who's coming in, former teammate. So man, definitely. So I was gonna go really deep tonight, but I'll be honest with you, I'm thirsty, and I want some popcorn. So I'm not gonna do that tonight. So because I need to, I gotta be up a couple hours like you. But what I was gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is this. Basically, in my tell the world how I feel. You can be really up today and really down tomorrow. Make sure you speak to the janitor because one day you could be mopping floors your damn self. Make sure that you tip. Make sure that you treat people the way you want to be treated. We're not perfect. We're all human, right? We make mistakes. Sometimes we get up in life and we think we're this and we're that. But what you got to understand is we all bleed the same way. We're all going to go the same way one day. As I said, you can be really high today and really low tomorrow. You can be the baller today and be the broke one tomorrow, So life is what you make it. True. But you also have to remember that put yourself in the position of somebody else. Know that your life could be really up or really down. So just cherish it. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And like I said, speak to the janitor, speak to everybody with conviction. I had a situation, the thing is, Larry, I've had situations because like me, we do this sports stuff, but we do things outside of sports to make the money, bring in the bacon, as they would say. And you get looks sometimes. People look at you like, "Oh, you're nothing, you're trash," and all this other stuff. You know how many times I really want to tell people, do you know you know who I really am? You know what I really do? I'm like, people look at me sometimes and think, "Oh, this guy's nothing." I'm like, I'm on the brink of being great. I'm on the brink of being great. There are so many people out there who are on the brink of being great. Do you know how many people you go into a gas station and talk to or see and you judge not knowing that person has a master's degree, a doctorate, but because they fell on hard times, they're working at a store? So don't judge people just because you think you know what they got going on. Just understand you only can see what you think you see. There's a lot of people out there who have better credentials than you and who are better than you. They just don't act like that because they're not a complete jackass like you are. That's the word of the night. Last word, Larry.
I love it.
Hey, I keep it. Hey, listen. Hey, look. Hey, man. Hey, check this out, right? Funny story. I cut a promo in a church today. Yo, I cannot believe, because like I was doing my work stuff right, and I went to an empty church where I was just doing my little walk around, stuff like that. I cut the greatest promo of all time. I didn't record it.
Damn.
Listen, if you all want some real entertainment, like go to my Rob Johnson entertainment page. I'm gonna start doing more work on there. I'm gonna start doing like wrestling promos again. It's gonna be good stuff. But anyway, you go ahead with the last word, Larry. Tell people where they can
Hey,
find
man,
you.
treat
Tell
people
people where they can
right.
find you, etc.
Treat people right. Love people, man. And if you want to find me, I'm on Game Time Sports Network on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Game Time 365 Sports. And love everybody, man.
Most definitely. Hey, the reason I cut that promo, I was by myself because I had watched one of the old WWE promos. I don't remember who did it. I don't know if it was Undertaker. It was just funny. So I was like, let me cut this little promo real quick, because I'm trying to get my little promo skills up so I can start, getting my views up on my entertainment page. But yeah, my last word is this. Again, treat everybody with respect. Respect yourself. We're human. We're not perfect, so don't act like you gotta be perfect. Just do the right thing at the right time, and just know that me and Larry are coming because we're the best. Good night.
Tag team champions.
Of the world.
Craig.
Mac. Macaroni.